dear co-chairs Ken and Moore, ranking members Scott and Simpson, and esteemed members of the very important Housing Committee, I'm State Representative David Michel from Stamford, testifying today in favor of Senate Bills 143 on just cause evictions, in favor of 145, Senate Bill 145, which is to fund programs that handle homelessness, and House Bills 5154, which would put money back into the Security Deposit Assistance Fund, 5156, which requires a 60 days notice of rent increases. In a time of rampant homelessness, when most households are not sure they will make it to the next month or the next 2 months, while sometimes unscrupulous developers rebuild to utmost proportions and raise the assessments on their struggling neighbors, and at a time when the legislature was not able to cap the raising of the rent to 3%, it is clear we have crucial work ahead of ourselves that could save lives and help address lack of housing options as well as homelessness. While our state government is constantly messaging the need for affordable housing without necessarily precising whom it is affordable to, we keep seeing our lowest income tier falling to homelessness. We should at least bring fairness. Is it fair to be evicted without a valid reason? That is what just cause legislation will do. It will expand this practice from seniors to everyone. Recently, we had a teacher stay at the Pacific House shelter in Stamford. The situation is becoming so bad that our full-time workers can end up homeless. We have homeless people in Stamford that explained one of the factors that precipitated the situation was not making enough to afford the security deposit, but also sometimes predatory practices from property management companies keeping security deposits as administrative fees, even when the person was never a tenant. That is what HB 51546 seeks to do, replenish the fund, but it should also end predatory practices that cause security deposits to be lost unfairly. We've heard recently, and I have also found out directly from employees that work to help the homeless, that they are themselves 1 to 2 months away from homelessness. I believe that is what SB 145 will help address in part. Then HB 5156 will mandate a 60-day notice on a rent increase, which might give enough time to a tenant to find another place if that rent increase were to be unsustainable or unfair. We've heard many times and in testimonies here at the Capitol in the past that tenants at times were living in deplorable conditions. Hopefully the bill will address this part as well with scrutiny. The inability to keep our own retirees and young families with children housed is an ultimate call for action for us to do what is right, regardless of parties or political convictions. Is it okay to continue letting our homeless die in their cars or in tents outside? Is it okay that someone working full-time not be able to live in the municipality they work in, especially when they cannot own a car or even afford transportation, as in some cases that could be less bread on the table that night? I ask the committee to do what is right and pass at least those 4 bills out of committee in their strongest possible version so they can be called in both chambers and we can finally start helping where urgency has been settling for a decade, if not longer.